Welcome to Rocky Mountain Renewal. My name is Victoria. I'm originally from England. I married an American, and after living all over the world, we settled in Manitou Springs, Colorado. We bought a 100-year-old former boarding house and outbuildings which needed complete renovation. It has been a labor of love and lots of hard work, but we still find time to have fun and explore the amazing place we live in. Come join us on our journey as we renew our home and our spirits in the beautiful Rocky Mountains. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Rocky Mountain Renewal. Thank you for visiting. So today's a little bit different. I had hoped to be working up in the attic this week, but between some work we've had done by our electrician and the work that Nathaniel was doing a couple of weeks ago on one of my vlogs, we have to have an inspector come in and check out how it's all laid out and make sure it's all up to code. And so once that's been signed off on, I can get on with my projects upstairs that I'm dying to get on with. Also, it's been kind of tricky because it's getting the kids back to school. I've now got little one back in full time for now. Fingers crossed that stays that way for some time. My elder daughter, she's just doing 2 days a week in remote learning. So she's home with me at the moment. The other reason I wanted to do this vlog today was to say that I was moved by Michael Petherick's last vlog on doing it ourselves, his channel. I'm always inspired by his and Stephanie Jarvis's Chateau Diaries. They're wonderful. I just, take such inspiration from them both. But Michael's last video really resonated with me, in that I had a very similar experience. So some years ago, I set up my own Etsy shop just to have something to do whilst the children were little, and I wanted an outlet, some sort of craft outlet, and I enjoy making jewelry and especially hair pieces for like bridal to everyday wear. And I learned how to solder, and I was very proud with the designs I was starting to churn out. And I was about, I suppose, just a few months into starting my shop, and it was picking up, it was doing well. And I got an email from a large American store, a nationwide American store that sells sort of medium to high-end pieces across the board. And I was very flattered to receive an email from a design assistant there, and she asked me if I would send a number of my pieces through, in particular the best sellers, and if I would send a breakdown of wholesale prices. And my husband was a bit nervous about this, as I'm a one-woman show here. I'm just, produce one piece at a time. And so he said, well, how would you monitor that if you were successful here? Anyway, I sent these pieces through and lots of photos of the other pieces I'd created and my website and so on. And I didn't hear anything for a while. And then I got an email back saying, thank you, but for now, we're not going to be going down that route with you, but maybe in the future, we'll see. And so I thought, okay, well, yeah, all right. It didn't go well, but there we are. It was worth a try. And then it must have been about another month or so after that, I went into one of their stores, and lo and behold, on their shelves were 3 of my best sellers recreated. And I was, I think, quite gutted when I saw those in the shop. I had a look at the pieces. They weren't as well made as mine, if I may say so. And they weren't hand soldered. They were, I don't know the methods they used, but anyway, they were identical to my pieces. So realizing I didn't really have a leg to stand on because none of my pieces are, patented or anything like this or registered, I couldn't do anything. So as Michael said in his vlog, it really sort of flattens you a bit, and especially when it's, the big guys going after the little guys. We were making small profit, it's a small business. I just don't understand how they can have the gumption to, do something like that. And it was, it was a lesson to be learned, unfortunately, but I learned it quickly. There are other Etsy shops we produce, sort of similar items, but we all try to make our pieces, personal to our site. We respect each other's products and so on, and you try not to cross over. But no, it really did. I can understand what he was saying. It gets you down. And it took me a while just to sort of find that creative energy again to, get back up and start putting my pieces out there. But that's not to say, anyone can look at your website and, they could have just looked at my pictures or looked at my designs and thought, okay, we're just going to recreate that. But I don't know why then they had me physically mail in my pieces. I think they just wanted to look at how they were made, and I don't know. So anyway, I put that behind me, and then I got on with creating new things, and it's just been ticking over nicely over the past years. And it's just been easy fitting it in with my schedule with the kids, and just the demand, especially around times prior to COVID when there were large weddings. It was always exciting to create sort of batches of these similar either hair combs or bracelets I make, or necklaces, for the bridesmaids and the bride. And that was always really exciting. And that's something that's really carried me along. And then another thing, I'll show you some of the pieces I make in a minute, was the trend. I don't know if it came out of something like Outlander or something. This is the popularity of the Scottish and the Celtic culture. A lot of thistles, a lot of pieces featuring thistles and things like this that really took off. So I was quite lucky there. But no, I continue with it. I slowed it down over Christmas because we had a lot going on. But I'm starting with some renewed energy again in 2021 to get the pieces up and going again. People have asked why I haven't sold them down in local shops. We have a lot of artsy shops down here in Manitou, and they're very lovely shop owners and really accepting of local artists and so on. So but I just didn't think I had the time. Again, I didn't know what the demand would be there. So it might be something I pursue further down the line. But for now, I'd like to focus on a bit more renovation work, which is what this channel is meant to be about. So I do apologise that it hasn't been featuring so much of that. That wasn't the plan, but just to keep you in the know as to what's going on, I thought I'd just show you a few of the pieces I make. I don't know if it'd be interesting or not to you, but if you'd like to continue watching, I'd like to show you. And then I'm actually going to solder a couple of pieces. Usually I do this in the basement. It's safe, it's away from the kids and so on. And I have a space down there, but it would be a bit dark to film down there, I think. So I have brought my soldering iron up here, and I'm going to show you how I make a few pieces, and just to give you a gist of what I do, and what I like to create and what I'm inspired by. But yeah, I hope you like it, and here we go. Okay, so here are some of the pieces I work with, and as you can tell, a lot of them are inspired by nature. This is just a few of them. I've got more over here I'll show you in just a moment. So we have things like the fern up here. I usually do these in gold and silver, and typically with these I will use a golden bobby pin, which I solder to the back of it. But if clients prefer, if they want it on a comb, I do it on different sized combs, so something like this, or even something like this. Depending on how thick their hair is, or whatever their preference is, I work with them. So they will send, typically I'll show on my Etsy website, I'll show one soldered perhaps with a bobby pin, but say look, there are options available, just message me and we can change that up. I do offer also, if people are ordering a number of one piece, or maybe a number of many pieces, I often offer a discount, which I think is fair if they're ordering a bunch of things. So actually this one was popular. There was I think it was a wedding in New Zealand, and I had, I think, an order for about 8 of these, 8 of the lovely bridesmaids and flower girls wore one of these in their hair. And in fact, I think, if I remember correctly, the guys, so I put a pin on the back, or like a brooch pin, and the guys wore them on their lapels. So I thought that was a nice touch, and I believe that is something to do with the New Zealand heritage. I call this a fern, but maybe it's identified as something else in their culture. But anyway, that went down well. So obviously a bunch of flowers here. This is some sort of calla lily, a rose. This is a large piece. In fact, I should have had a measuring tape or something. Excuse my hands. You can tell I've been doing DIY work and then a bit of this. It's just, so winter hands here as well. But the rose I think is really pretty. But that's a large piece there. But I've had a few of those on different brides. This one again I think is really pretty. I've never really identified the flower. I'm not sure quite what that would be. But I like the sort of scroll effect on it, and usually that will go on a hair comb because again it's quite a larger piece. This I believe is like a convolvulus. This one I made some time ago. It needs actually polishing up. Sometimes when I solder it, the heat from the soldering iron can change the sort of color of the metal. So what I do is I can polish it up, and I can use a little bit of lemon juice actually. That really helps bring it up back to this sort of color again. So that one needs a little work there. But I do love the flowers very much, especially that calla lily. I think that's very pretty. These are the birch or aspen leaves. Again, I did a bunch of these for a wedding here in Colorado. And I do gold and silver ones of these, and sometimes I double them up so that they sort of are layered, and then put them on a comb, and those have gone down quite well. Again, sort of like this, I double up these leaves, or I can do single ones depending on preference, but I quite like this. I think it's quite sort of deco-y. I like that a lot. In fact, I have one of those for myself. A lot of peacock feathers. I think I have some silver ones of those too. Those typically go on a bobby pin that runs along the back, so it can just slide in, straight. So that's again quite a good seller. Feathers also go down quite well. Again, I double them up like this if people want. I've actually even turned one of these into a necklace before. Somebody requested it to be made into a necklace, so I make those also. And here are famous thistles. Now these, I'll show you when I make the double one of this in a minute. These ones have been really popular. As I say, I think some Scottish TV shows have influenced that slightly. I do love these. These are harder to solder. It's like a sycamore or a maple leaf. These have to go on a comb. It's kind of hard with the bobby pin because the back is, you can see it sort of undulates. So I have to use a comb on that, and that one takes some time to do, but that's been quite good. So I know somebody eloped. I remember them saying they were going to elope. Don't tell anyone. And she wanted one of these, and she wore it. She took a beautiful picture and sent it to me. She was on the top of a mountain, and she was showing me that she was wearing this in her hair, which I loved that she sent me a picture. That was really sweet of her. So yes, the thistles are popular, and in fact, what I do with a bunch of the thistles. In fact, I've done one with 5 of these soldered together before. So it's like a circle, and the lady wanted it on this hoop necklace. So I use little links to link it up to the necklace, and it really is quite a stunning piece. It's a dramatic piece and a large piece, but she wanted something with 5. But I do a number of hair pieces with either just a single one on a bobby pin, 2, sorry, it's kind of hard with holding the camera in one hand here, or 3 like this, and then a pin goes underneath that. Sorry, that's kind of ruining it there a bit. But if you can imagine, the pin's underneath and the 3 of them are soldered to the top, and it again, it's quite a good effect. But I think that's for somebody really with longer, thicker hair that works with, or I can use a thinner one. I do have a smaller one, which helps if you have slightly thinner hair. So yeah, so that one's quite popular also. And then moving along, I've just got so many pieces which really I can't show you all today because I don't want to bore you with everything, but I do a bunch of sort of animals as well. This is a little polar bear that's often quite popular at Christmas. That one again is quite tarnished, so that's how it should look. That one needs bringing up a bit. Halloween, I sell a lot of these guys, lots of spiders. Somebody again also, they bought it for like a Halloween event. I think they were giving them out to the guests or something like this. There's a little peacock I did a while back. I don't know if you can see that. I usually do those in pairs. That was a little, when I was experimenting with a little turtle, that's actually an earring. Slides in the back there. The swan I love, that's one of my favourite pieces. I put this one typically on a bobby pin again, so that just goes straight across the hair, the back typically. Snowflakes, again, popular at winter. I do silver and gold ones of these. And yeah, I mean, they're just seasonal pieces. There's the gold one up there. And then, yes, I've had quite a few with the wings. I do silver and gold wings. And I put those again on either combs or, you know, people just, they, depending on their thickness of their hair or the length of their hair, they decide, you know, sort of what they want putting on it. This again, I think is some sort of ivy leaf. I really like that. It's quite elegant, sort of, when it's in the hair, it looks sort of almost medieval. It's quite pretty. And coming up, this is one I was experimenting with for dog lovers. I thought this guy was really cute. He's like a little sausage dog. I think he's quite cute. My daughter wants that one. But I've got many others to make. These are really pretty little swallows. They've been popular. And then this one, because it's like the tarnish or the sort of antique gold, this effect didn't really work out, but I've done these, I've got these in silver also. I don't think I've got them in my shop right now, but I can make some more silver ones. I think they're quite sweet. Bumblebees, always popular. They go, in fact, people have asked for these to be put onto, these are the bracelets I use. I sold them onto these. They've been asked for them. That's a little bumblebee bracelet, which is quite cute. And then also on just chains and as brooches. Yeah, I think I've done a brooch, the bumblebee. And then another holiday one is, this is a big one. That's about the same size-ish as the rose. There's a big holly one, which I love for Christmas time. I think that's really quite stunning. Quite the piece. You're wearing, you know, if you're wearing a larger piece of jewelry, I think, you know, you wear simple earrings or something like that with this, it looks really quite sweet. And then let's see, antlers. Gosh, antlers have been all the rage. Lots of people have sort of rustic weddings, and these, especially in the States, I found, I mean, these two aren't soldered together right now, but what I do is I solder these two, and then again, if you can imagine, this piece, it goes underneath the soldered antlers, and it sort of sits in the hair like that, and people, they really go crazy for them. I sold a lot of these to Texas. I've noticed a lot of Texas. And then I do them also in silver. I have different sizes of antlers. Again, I use some of these as necklaces, and then again, if you can imagine the double silver one, I do that with this piece underneath. And that's quite fun. I like doing those. But yeah, the antlers have really taken off. Earrings, necklaces, all sorts. You can have a look at my website if you're interested. Actually, I must put a link to that if I haven't already said so. I'll put a link to that in my in the description below. But then I go kind of off on whims sometimes, and I create pieces that aren't necessarily going to go up on the website. Just excuse me whilst I put the phone down for 2 seconds. And yeah, I just like to go a bit crazy and create sort of odd modern pieces. That's got like a branchy piece that I soldered on there, but I just like having fun. I think that's part of why I've enjoyed doing this shop, is just having fun with various pieces and experimenting, and yeah, just seeing what you know people like. And it's quite unusual. I do get different requests for things that aren't in my shop, and could I do this, and could I make a bowl? Actually, I have, as I say, a number of these branches, and what the lady wanted was some sort of small sort of, I don't know what she was going to hold in it, but she wanted this sort of bowl shape. So I made this custom piece for her, just featuring all these branches, and the effect was really quite stunning, but it took a long time to do. It's a lot of little pieces of joining in something like that. So yeah, I've not put that one in my shop because it took a lot of work, and as I say, yeah, it was just a sort of one-off piece really. But I'm going to try and experiment rather than just doing all jewelry pieces. I think I'm going to try and do more just sort of unique, like sculptural pieces or something like this, you know, as I go along and as I get a bit of time to do this. But yeah, these are sort of things that feature in my shop. And as I say, go along and have a look. It's Temptress on Etsy. And now I'm going to show you how I solder one of my pieces. So here is a piece of apparatus I use when I'm soldering. My daughters call it Octo-Man because apparently there's something in Marvel that has all these arms coming out of it. They're a bit freaked out by it. But anyway, it helps hold the piece in place whilst I'm soldering, and it clamps down onto whichever piece I'm using. This is the flux that I use. Oh, sorry, the soldering wire. The flux is 2% in it and it's lead-free. I always use lead-free solder. The flux, which is already contained in it, is there to get rid of any of the oxides or impurities that are on the metal, and it allows the solder to become molten solder and adhere whatever pieces you're trying to put together. So here I'm going to fix these two, they're single thistles. I'm going to solder in the middle there to hold them together, and then I'm going to put a silver bobby pin just across here. So you'll see in the end product there. So I'm now wearing a mask, so it might be a little bit harder to hear me, but I've got my flux, I've got my soldering iron, and what I'm going to do is just go in very gently with my flux, shaky hands today, and adhere these two thistles together, which I think I've just about done that. And I'll show you that in just a second when it's cooled down. Yes, too much coffee this morning, Victoria. So I'll just lift that piece there so you can see two pieces there. Also, it's a good idea to wear safety goggles. My goggles are somewhere in the attic. My husband stole them the other day. But yes, you should be careful. Always have some sort of mask on, some safety goggles, and just be very careful because obviously it's very, very hot. And you can use gloves if you want, of course. I am not here. I should be, but I'm just not in my right spot right now where I do this typically. But anyway, I'm going to pop that back on there. Okay, so I've now set the bobby pin where I want it to be. I have a variety of sizes of these bobby pins. I typically like ones with a smaller head because it's easier to fit into smaller places. Unfortunately, I only have the larger head today, but we will work with that. What I have to do is solder around the edge of the disc onto the thistle so that it has a tight hold there. So now we're soldering the bobby pin onto the thistle. I'm just going to make sure I get all these edges here. Just to give it a really good fit. I can't really show you from above right now, unfortunately, but yeah, it's getting there. I just want to get that covered, okay. So let's just look from that side. Yeah, that's good. Got a good fit. Okay, so I'm just going to let this cool and then I can show you what it looks like. This one is on my website at the moment. I've got plenty of pieces of these to make. Let's just see if I can twist that towards the camera. So that's what it looks like. See, it's a double thistle intertwined with if it'll go that way. No. The bobby pin on the back. And what I do is I clear up around here some of the sort of little marks where it's burnt and so on. I just scrape those off, tidy it up a bit, polish it, and we're good to go. And I package it up in nice boxes, ready to gift if somebody wants to gift them. Yeah, so that's one of the pieces. As I say, a lot of people like just the single thistle, but I found a lot of people, I think the double thistle is more popular at the moment. So yeah. So whilst I was waiting for the thistles to cool, I just did a quick one with one of the gold feathers. I don't know if you can see it in the light there. So that's like one of, one of these feathers. I've just put it on a simple gold cone with the 4 prongs. So yeah, that one's just cooling now as well. So you get just an idea of what I do in my spare time, and I find it really quite enjoyable to create these pieces, and know that, you know, people are enjoying them. I get some really lovely feedback from my customers, and yeah, I'm hoping to do a bit more this year, but I think a lot of the DIY work needs to take precedence, but we'll see. But if anybody's interested, do check out my Etsy shop. The other thing that I'm going to start doing a little bit more of is, as I explained in one of the vlogs, there's a lot of natural stones in this area, and there's a lovely shop where I pick up really unique pieces, and I'm thinking about doing a bit more of this because there's been a bit of demand for that. People are asking if I use any stones or anything like that. Usually I just work with metal, but I've just been, yeah, just sort of experimenting a little bit with some of those, and I found some really cool pieces recently. So I'm gonna switch back around. So this piece I thought was really, really cool. It's actually quite a chunky, large piece, and it's got these wonderful facets here. You can see the light sort of shining on it, and it's got a little geode piece. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. There's like a hole that goes through it, and it's got some little geode stones in there, which I thought was very pretty. And I had them drill a hole for me so that I could connect it to a necklace. But I'm thinking about doing some things with these sort of stones. This one's another one. It's like a sliced piece, which is just very flat. But I think, again, they're sort of large statement pieces. This one I think is, let's see which way around that goes. Yeah, this one's quite pretty. It's got the pinky purple down the bottom and then the darker. It looks almost onyxy at the top, but again, I had that drilled. I think that's quite beautiful. Little jade piece. Some people like things like this on stringy necklaces rather than metal ones. I do a variety of circular pieces like neck collars or the neck rings or chains. People like chains too. And then I bought this one, but I decided it looked a little bit rude. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy, but anyway, he's staying, I think, with me for now. But yes, that's quite interesting. And then I've got this silver plate on top, so that's quite nice. And then I did have a tiny little rose one, which I don't know. No, there it is. I thought my daughter had run away with that. There's a little rose quartz. I think it's really cute and dainty. And again, that goes on a gold chain, and it's really quite sweet. I think they're quite nice. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing a bit more with stones as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. So thank you so much for watching today. I know it's not really in keeping with what we meant this channel to be, but hopefully we can get back to the DIY part soon. I'm really looking forward to having that extra floor and just improving the house. And so we'll keep you posted on that. We should have a sign off soon with the electrical, so I can start getting on. I'm rearing to go. I really appreciate you watching these vlogs. I'm trying to grow my subscribers and watchers and so on. So if you did like it, please like, subscribe or comment. I would really, really appreciate that. I'm hoping to grow this channel a little bit. And yeah, just thank you very much again, just for support and all the lovely things you've said so far. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye now.